As we continue to work towards the path of great awakening, majority of us is still seem to be struggling with the information warfare. It's information warfare because of our lack of connection, lack of ability to connect the dots and have that little bit of confidence to narrow down information and think a bit differently and have things put in perspective. When we are continuously struggling in these paths, some of us we like to continue delivering different methods of recognizing what exactly information warfare is all about. This is why we call it information warfare, because although we are in one side, we are extremely developed into having a dialogue that is uh, open space for extreme level of creativity and vocabulary, expansion of vocabulary and information. We are having a bit of a hard time putting things in perspective, where to draw the line. In the natural ecosystem, it's all about natural selection. This is what it working towards. This is the purpose of our ecosystem. So for example, a little bit of rain, soft rain, is perfect for our environment. Even a little bit of rainstorms is really not going to make that much difference. It's going to add value towards our ecosystem. But extreme level of storm, the rainstorm, the windstorm, any kind of uh, things happen with the level of force, this is when everything happening to transform, transition, shift things from one place to another. Because the end goal, the purpose is the same. It's a natural selection. When you have this kind of awareness, how do we use that kind of reflection towards our own growth? With the human activities, our dialogue is expansion of a lot of education, lot of learning, lot of reading books, a lot of we have the availability of information is a huge open space. But like everything in life, natural selection is the goal, is the purpose. So one of the purpose of information warfare, if we're selecting information as a warfare, it's really to elevate the human existence into a different level, a different frequency, different existence, different more of a stronger, because we are navigating information uh, uh, in accordance with the challenging times. This is when we gain the ability to expand our human status. The huge part of information warfare is learning to navigate information, learning to connect dots, putting things in perspective. Essentially, it's we are using information to elevate and reshuffle and come into terms with the certain factors. And when we have this level of depth and awareness, this is when we have the ability to transform, transition, and elevate. Let's see how effective this dialogue is going to be. How I navigate information, like pretty much my whole life, about 90% is intuition, is the connection to the higher source, is the gut feelings, but also combination of critical thinking, practical thinking, logical thinking, and putting things in perspective, because it's the obvious. We are learning to point out the obvious about circumstances. This is how I navigate. And when you have awareness, when you have a perspective about things, you get the downloads because your connection to the source is much stronger and clear, and you have a level of confidence about the information. Then I am responsible to release this information, in this case, this manner. If I continue to suppress, I have a personal consequences. Last thing I want to do is sit down and 2 a.m. thinking about information warfare. So this is the purpose. When you have awareness, when you have a clarity, it needs to be released into a public space. So this is how I navigate information. So I'm trying to deliver these messages, deliver these awarenesses from my own unique perspectives. Whoever is going to be in alignment, they are going to use this and try to have a different perspective, and maybe put things into or connect the dots. This is the purpose, this is the goal. So when we think about information, when we think about personalities, we hear these thoughts like black and white thinking. It's very black and white thinking. So on the surface, it doesn't seem appropriate for the modern times, because it's very black and white thinking. It's a rigid thinking. It's not expanded with the political correctness that's happening around us. So one of the important factors to remember, like I said earlier about the natural ecosystem, is all about natural selection. So when we're navigating these very complicated, different, large information factors, how we narrow down. So it's really good to think about expanding your thoughts, expanding your thinking, expanding your connection, perception with the different information, because they come in. So then we should be able to have to expand your thinking in accordance with the new information. But for example, like I have a long name, so when you're barely learning to spell your name, you have all these other letters add on to your name because of political correctness. It's somewhat confusing. But the black and white thinking versus yes and no thinking is somehow, this is how we navigate information, because multiple choice, remember, we've all been doing these multiple choice exams for years in our school, during our school years. They are very similar answers, they are very confusing, they could all be right, but we are always supposed to pick one answer, which is the most compatible, the closest thing for the correct answer. So the information warfare is like that. Everything could be right, it could make us make sense. We have a background to every decision making, every problem, every solution. It's a process, it's a gradual process. So but then most effective way of navigating information. You know that you can have these 100 different scenarios, but you can only choose one um, with the in the external control grid. You know, they are never going to ask you about all the rationales. You know how when they're questioning someone because of the law or something, you would always say yes or no answer. We like to have a yes or no answer. So it doesn't matter if you have 100 different rationales, stories. You have to be comfortable for these kind of very clear decision making. This is what the information warfare is all about. We can have 100 different pointers. They could all be right. They could all be valuable. They could all expand our thinking. Yet we are only equipped to make a judgment call. This is how we navigate information warfare. It is the most effective way. So in order for us to do that, we can never be iffy about things. We could never be second guessing ourselves. We need to have extreme clarity to support your decision making. So the supreme God frequencies and the dark masters frequency, we have done, maybe we have done some bad things. We could done some good things. Maybe we when we are navigating life from a connected position, we have maybe done some challenging things, not so holistic things. But when it comes to decision making, it's really important to point out these life transforming, transitioning, elevating circumstances. This is what it counts. It doesn't matter how many stories we tell ourselves, how many challenges we have gone through, how much pain and suffering we have gone through. What it counts, the last decision that you have aligned yourself up with. This is how we put things in perspective. So another example, it doesn't matter if we know that we have to support families, we have to support life, we have to support things that matter to us. If we haven't picked a holistic path, if we haven't picked a path that's going to cause minimum suffering for others, for maximum gain for you, then we have to make a judgment call with this information. A perfect example, without complicating ourselves with difficulties. We see all these famous people, they're saying up front, they're saying, I sold my soul. But what exactly does that mean? If you sold your soul, you're saying that it means you have sacrificed. You're not able to follow your heart anymore, which is the most important factor in your life. We have to live heart-centric life. This is the spiritual warfare. We are picking side now, because what we choose to do, how we navigate information, how we go towards that elevation, even if it doesn't give you rewards right away, but you're practicing integrity, you're practicing the path that is most closest to God, instead of the darkness. This is where it counts. So when somebody says, wow, I'm really famous, I'm rich, I have influence, I've gained all these things, but I sold my soul in order to get there. So the examples are, they're black and white. As the consumer, as the audience, as the customer, we need to be able to navigate these information warfare. When somebody say that with all the prestige on the surface, someone is manipulating you, someone behind the closed doors are have a hold of your authenticity, your connection, and you're being manipulated because now you have a monetary or control grid support. So therefore, it doesn't matter, your creativity is the most magical thing. You are not an agent that we can follow, because we know you're not able to follow your heart, because it's influenced by another factor, which is hidden, which is manipulative, which is gaslighting, which is controlling, which is energy sucking vampire. So those things could be true. So when you sold your soul to something, because it's the obvious thing we do, because it benefits you financially. So this is how we differentiate information warfare. But in generally, these people could be very talented artists, talented entertainers, but it doesn't matter. They were no longer following their heart, following their authenticity. They have gone into a much darker, unknown layer of existence. So this is another example of information warfare. Now, the trust is gone now. This is not an outlet where you can have a complete trust and give up your energy to these individuals, because they are already not practicing from an authentic place. This is how we navigate information warfare. Now, when you hear life shouldn't be that difficult if we are spending time, as we are expanding our information, it is our personal responsibility to keep on tabs with how grounded we are. Roots, like the tree of life, is keep on growing, but the roots are also growing because we are keeping ourselves grounded, so the roots can withhold the weight of the growth. This is how we draw the line in the information warfare. If you haven't navigate this kind of information layers, we are running into problems once again. We have expansion with our thoughts, with our political correctness, with our vocabulary, but we aren't staying close to our roots. This means you are making yourself vulnerable. This is all about natural selection. This is why it's important for us to work on ourselves, use our families. We create these stronger ecosystems, so all the members are protected. The decision making is effortless. If you are struggling a bit with your information spiritual warfare, someone else can point you in a direction that's so-called families, because now we have stayed connected to our roots. Not so much the black sheeps, because they are long gone by now. It doesn't really matter, but it's our personal responsibility to create the strength with our rooting system when we have to face information spiritual warfare, because human challenges everywhere is very similar. Uh, but the programming happens. Now we have a clarity about how manipulative, how the information warfare is used to sabotage human collective consciousness. Is really clear evidence. It's not something that we need to start acting to change circumstances, but we are changing this knowledge and wisdom to change our own personal circumstances. We're elevating into a different frequency, because when human beings are repetitively participating in self-destruction, we have a very clear evidence, very clear observation. Hey, this is how information warfare works. There is a control grid. There is a frequency grid, and this is why we are continuously suffering from poverty, the spiritual warfare, the economic warfare. So we have a very clear, logical, practical, critical thinking helping us to navigate this. We are observing why is these certain areas always have the similar problems, the addiction problems everywhere, because we are not having that level of strength to disconnect from these destructive, self-destructive behaviors. We've gone through these things repetitively. People get drunk. They forget how sick they get next day, but they are continuing to do these things. This is why we see the homeless group, the substance abuse. Is very painful to watch, but these are also experiences we need to have observation and make a judgment call, because these people are suffering. It shouldn't be needlessly ignored or overlooked because it doesn't affect us personally. These are there so we can make a judgment call and recognize and realize this information warfare is a real thing. So we empower ourselves. Um, the winners, how do we, when you say you're always about natural ecosystem is all about natural selection, when it comes to our human species, is the same thing, because when we repetitively participate in self-destructing behaviors lifetime after lifetime, we are kind of repeating the same class, because we haven't connected the dot, we haven't taken that personal responsibility and critical thinking, practical thinking, logical thinking. We haven't used these tools to make a judgment call and to shift and change your energetic frequencies, vibrational frequencies towards elevation and change in the circumstances. So it's all about navigating information from a connected place. If you are continuously, repetitively participating in a self-destructive behaviors, um, if you have a stronger support group or a similar ecosystem, you know that, hey, this is wrong. What is really going on? So you know there is another control mechanism happening from the external forces. Um, it's so much easier for them to do it because they are observing the human beings, and the way they are very cunning, manipulative, and horrible, not empathic at all. But it's easier for them to do that because they make a judgment call. They be like, see, they are hypocritical. See, they are not very intelligent. See, they don't care about the families. See, they are not making intelligent, wise decision. This is why they are useless eaters. So they are making a judgment call every second of the day because we haven't tapped into any of these things. They are thinking, see, is so easily manipulated. They don't recognize it. You see, we can use their mind, body, spirit vessel, so-called temple. We're experimenting on them. You see how easy that is. This is how the control grid is interpreting information. You see, they don't care about grandma. They don't care about the family members. The friendship, what friendship? They don't know anything about friendships or loyalty or integrity. Mm, they're interpreting these our human behaviors towards um, their system. This is how they navigate information. So it is really important for us to keep these things in mind when we're making decision. The economic sabotage is the same thing. You see, they don't care. They want to sell their thing for a maximum price while they know they're exploiting you. They don't care. The integrity is not there. So we have all these corruption, we have all these inflation. They don't care. They are still trying really hard to hold on to this kind of destructive patterns. They're not using it to self empower self or to elevate anything, the frequency, and we have all the powers within us. This is how the control grid interpret information. So it is our personal responsibility at this point to uh, hold on to our roots, make an assessment as to where we are at. It's how we change anything. This is how we elevate circumstances. This is how we not allowing external factors to consume us indefinitely and further separate us, isolate us, make us sick, and because of our lack of ability to question and have a dialogue. Hey, we know why you are destroying the food source. We have to be accountable. There is got to be transparency. There's something wrong. There's something really sick. After all that hard work people are putting in, you're poisoning the food with the GMO and all kinds of chemicals that is known, not familiar with us. There shouldn't be any kind of manipulation like that to the humanity, but there are agents participating in these factors, different layers continuously, because we are all doing a job. Oh, we have to feed our families. So this is not a thriving human ecosystem. This is what we have to come to terms with. And a great awakening only possible when we are awakened to our own circumstances and have a level of personal responsibility to our participation to the destruction. This is how we sort of put things in perspective and use information warfare into the information for freedom. This is my way of thinking. So now I release this level of thinking towards public. Let's see what happens and where are we going with this.